Hello, everybody. Welcome to our new reality for English 101. I just want to break down what some of the changes are going to be, what some of the technologies we're going to use are going to be, and just pretty much how the class is going to function from here into the rest of the semester. So you can find all of these videos on, right now it's just called Josh Motes on YouTube. So check that out. It's going to be difficult to search for that. I've got a link for you because I have no subscribers and no views on it. So I will have a link in the syllabus to that that I'll direct you to as well. But I really just want to use YouTube, and we'll talk about Discord as well as sort of the two new technologies that we're going to be introducing into the class to do this kind of distance learning. There's a couple of reasons for that. I did look into Zoom, and the primary thing is I'm just not sure how stable it's going to be. There was a lot of internal memos between different administrators and people, and I know a lot of places are switching over to Zoom, but it's never had quite that volume. A lot of universities are going to be using it. A lot of workplaces are going to be using it. So, they've said that you should have a contingency plan in place just in case it doesn't work. So I just said, you know what? I'm not even going to fool with it. I'm just going to run it on YouTube and on Discord. And so that way, we don't even have to worry about it. We know YouTube's going to hold up. I bet that Discord is going to hold up as well. It's not going to get nearly as much traffic as Zoom is. So that's why I'm not using Zoom and why I'm not upgrading to use Canvas anymore either, just because I think these services are going to be a lot more stable. And in many ways, they have features that I think will be a lot better than Zoom also. So we're going to go through sort of what some of that is. And you can find these in the revised syllabus that I'm going to post in the classroom folder as well. Down near the bottom, I have the COVID-19 policy changes. So for those of you that aren't familiar with this, also, the semester, there's going to be no more in-person semester meeting throughout the spring semester. Now, they're still thinking about summer. They're thinking about fall. We're just going to see how this all evolves. But for this class, for the rest of the semester, and for all of your other classes, it's strictly going to be online the way that your professor tells you that it has to be. Okay, and I'm just recording this on a webcam in my office, so you might hear, some noise in the background. If my wife's doing something in the other room, my daughter might bust in here and say something every now and then, make a guest appearance. We'll see. We'll try to keep it, as professional as possible in here. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the policy changes that I've come up with here and how to navigate some of these different technologies, and then what the rest of the semester is going to look like in terms of what you're going to be doing. And a lot of it's going to be very similar to what we've been doing so far, aside from just the in-class meetings, because we've already been using technology a lot with Google Drive, with the daily notes. So that's going to remain the same. You're still going to find access to the daily notes, sample essays, assignment sheets. All that stuff is still going to be in place. You're still going to turn in your essays to the exact same place in your individualized folder where you turn in your rough draft and your final draft. All of that's going to be exactly the same, so that's not changing. The stuff that is going to change, obviously, is going to be the in-person type of meeting situation that we have to adjust. So basically, I'm going to release the lecture notes every day. We'll just skip down to the technology, then we'll talk about attendance here in a second. But I'm going to release the lecture notes every day around noon. They might come in a little bit lower than that, but the notes are going to be there at noon, and then I'm going to go over the notes as well as some different examples with some multimedia and things like that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to live stream that on YouTube at noon every day. I'll send out an email announcement to let you know where it's going to be, but this is going to be the link. You can subscribe if you want to, or you can just take the link and go there. I'm not going to have it monetized, so you shouldn't see any ads on it. It's just going to be really like bare bones, very simple. The only videos on there are going to be, for the most part, the lectures, so it should be really easy to locate. And I chose to do this for several reasons. Number one, attendance is a huge problem, or has been a huge problem throughout this semester for this class, both the 810 class and the 930 classes. It's just really hard to get up that early in the morning for a lot of people, and I understand that that's rough. And now it's going to be even more rough. People might be in different time zones. We could have students from our class out in California, for example. So if I tried to live stream it at 8 a.m. here, that would be 5 a.m. out there in California. And that would put a huge strain on people, their sleeping schedules, all of that kind of stuff. So that's why I decided to bump it up a little bit to noon. I think that everyone should be awake around then. I do understand there's other stuff going on in people's lives at that time also you might have a chemistry lecture that's streaming at the same time, or you might have some other obligation you have to take care of. That's fine. I'm just streaming it mostly so that people can ask questions in the live chat if they have questions while I'm talking. You do not have to attend the live stream to get credit, okay? All of it's going to be recorded on YouTube, and it's going to be available as a replay pretty quickly after the stream. It should be ready to go as far as replay goes within like 30 minutes to an hour after the live stream completes. So you can get full credit just by watching the replay and doing the writing assignment if you're not able to make it to the live stream. If you can make it, that's great. That way you're free to ask me any questions live while I'm talking about it. But if you can't make it, you can still watch the replay, and then you can still email me any questions that you may have on there. I'll also be available after each live stream on Discord. I'll show you what that technology is here in a second. But I'm going to be hanging out in there for about an hour. So if you just pop in and hang out in kind of the waiting room, send me an email too. That kind of helps a little bit. But we can get in there and talk about it, conversationally via voice if you want to talk about anything that was going on during the lecture or anything else that's going on. So I think that's really the best way to do it. It's got the live component so that you can ask me questions live, but then it also has the replay component because, it's crazy out there right now, not only for time zones, but also with the sickness. Someone might get sick themselves. You might have to take care of your younger siblings while your parents are working from home. There's just all kinds of scenarios out there that are just really wild right now. So I'm trying to make it, as easy as possible for you to get the content, learn some stuff that'll hopefully help you out in the future, help you professionalize, and then just allow you to complete that with a fairly flexible schedule. Okay, so that's how we're going to be doing it. I've got the link here in the syllabus. I'll put it in the daily notes. Every daily notes, I'll put a link up at the top. And that's just how we're going to run it. So for any official correspondence, though, please email me. If it's something that's really important, don't leave it as a comment after the stream is already done. I'll try to go through and get those. But, I can't guarantee that I'll be able to respond to those as fast as email. So if it's something that's really important, a major question that you have, just be sure to email me at, the standard email address, jmodes@vols.utk.edu. Okay? So that kind of segues into the altered attendance policy. So they still require us to take attendance. We have to take attendance. It's mandatory that we take attendance. Okay, so that has to happen. That's a departmental and university mandate for all English 101 classes. So attendance records up until 3/24, so up until yesterday, so right before spring break, that's going to be the exact same. So however many absences you have up until that point is the exact same. The penalties and potentially the benefits of the attendance are going to be the exact same, right? So if you have 0 or 1 absence throughout the whole semester, you still get plus 1% on your final average. If you have 4 absences, then it's going to be minus 3%, and then every absence after 4 is an additional minus 3%, all the way up to 7. If you have those 7 absences, once again, then that is going to give you an MC for the course. It's really hard to negotiate that with the department. So if it's something really extreme, if you have a doctor's note and you come down with a severe case of COVID or something else, there might be a little leeway on that, but traditionally, they're very strict about that. So you want to make sure that that you're taking it seriously. Now, how are we going to be taking attendance, though? So once again, you do not have to attend the live stream if it's inconvenient for you. Okay, so once again, that's just for time zone considerations and everything else that's going on. And I've bumped it up to noon to make it a little nicer. If you do want to stream it and you do want to sleep in a little bit more, then you can do that. But you don't have to do that. What you do have to do if you want attendance is complete the daily writing that I assign during the stream. So how that's going to work too, you'll see tomorrow, but basically I'm just going to give you some questions, and then I'm just going to tell you, you can pause the video for a little bit while you answer those questions. Give yourself 10 or 15 minutes. Go ahead, do that writing. I'll have you pause, and then I'll come back, and then we'll talk about it on the video. So as long as you're doing that writing, basically if you're doing your daily writing, then that counts as your attendance. If you don't do the daily in-class writing, then I'll have no way of knowing that you attended, and I'll have to give you an absence for it, okay? So you have to do the daily writing, and that will count as both your attendance and as daily writing. And you'll see in the schedule that we get to here in a second, I did go ahead and get rid of pretty much all homework assignments that are not daily writing unless it's a major project like a rough draft or a final draft. Okay? So you need to do that daily writing within 48 hours of when the lecture comes out. If that's a tough timeline for you, then you need to email me and, have a good excuse for why you might need a little bit more time on that. Once again, if it's like some family illness or personal illness or whatever, I can be pretty flexible on that as long as you're getting the work done. But try to get it done within 48 hours. The main concern there is if you let too many of these things stack up, it can be very difficult to catch up. And it's going to be very difficult for me to give you an accurate read on your grade as well. Okay. Okay, well, thank you, Vahis, for the sub. I probably need to turn that off. I guess some random person found my channel or whatever. Okay. We'll take that off. Hope it's not a bot or something. But, anyways, all of these streams will be saved, so you can access them anytime that you want. They're going to be on YouTube. Will remain the same. Okay. So we've got that covered. Use the email address. Find me on YouTube. I'll send out an email right when the live stream's going to start. You can also sign in. Please sign in via your using your UTK address. If you have some other type of way to sign in to Google using a different email address, please use your actual name so that I know who I'm talking to, right? And so that other students will know that you're a student in the class and not some random person just found the channel and subscribed. Hopefully there's not going to be too many of those. We should be a super obscure channel, so I don't think we'll be having any very much non-student traffic in there. But yeah, just make sure that you're signing in with your actual UTK email address so that I know who you are and so that everyone else knows who you are as well when you're talking. And then that way it'll just add a little bit more trust to the process. Okay, but yeah, feel free to ask questions at any time during the lecture. Even if I'm in the middle of talking, go ahead, type out your question. I'll glance over and grab those whenever I can. So, definitely ask questions as you have them, and I'll be happy to help you out as much as I can. And then please be polite in the chat. I mean, this is common sense, right? But be polite to other people. These are all students from the class in the chat. So, don't tell someone, oh, that's obvious. Why don't you know that? Or, any other type of negative stuff, right? If you have some input, if you have some ideas, or you want to chime in, maybe they ask a question, you were thinking about it, and you want to ask it in a slightly different way, you can do that. Okay, so you can interact with each other. You can talk with each other in the chat if you want to, but just do it in a very cordial way. Okay. I'm still going to post up the notes on Google Drive, as I said before, and I will have a link to those notes in the video description and as the top comment on the replay. So if you're just watching it on your phone, if you don't have access to a PC at home, you should still be able to access all of this. That's another reason that I like all of these systems, the YouTube, Google Drive, and Discord, is you don't even have to have a PC. All you have to have is a phone. So surely either you or your parents will have a phone with the internet, and you can do it that way. So even if you don't have a personal PC at your house, or your parents are working from home and they have to use it or whatever, it should help you out a lot with access, I think. Okay, so all of that should be accessible. Now here's a link to the Discord. The Discord is basically like a Skype type of thing. I like this service the best, partially because it has really good mobile access, like I just mentioned before. So it's bare bones right now. I'm going to add in a little bit more before tomorrow's class, maybe a little bit more Thursday. But it's basically going to look something like this, where I'm going to have a conference waiting room. You can go in here. When you get your voice activated, then you will be able to talk with other people in here if you want to. You can also mute yourself and deafen yourself. So I would recommend doing that. And you can mute other people. So if someone's in there and they accidentally left their mic on and there's some music going on in the background or some funky stuff going on out there, then you can go ahead and mute that if you don't want to hear that. Or if they're just sitting there breathing into their mic or something, you can mute that. Okay, so you can mute other people, and I highly recommend that you mute and deafen yourself while you're waiting, unless you specifically want to talk to other people, just so that some of your private conversations or whatever may not, go through to other people that are in the waiting room. Okay, so that's just where you're going to go, hang out, and wait. And this is also going to be where we do our office hours. You just hang out in there, and then I will have the live conferences room locked so that no one can go in there unless I pull them in there. And then I'll pull you in there one at a time during the conferences. We'll talk about your essays, or if you want to come in and talk during office hours, I'll pull you in and we'll talk during office hours. So just basically going to be just chilling, hanging out in the waiting room. I would say just make sure that you're, kind of ready to go whenever I pull you in there. So within like a minute or so, just make sure that you're near your computer. If I start talking to you, you'll be able to hear it, and you'll be ready to go. So that's pretty simple. We'll do that for 15-minute conferences. We'll talk about the schedule here in a second. I'll show you some of the adjustments to the schedule. But that's where office hours are going to be, and that's where we're going to do conferences. If you do have questions, while you're waiting, or you just want to talk to some other people about whatever's going on, then you can type these out in the questions section as well. So that's kind of like a message board of sorts where you can just type out anything that you have. So if you just post that up, it'll just have a sample statement, and then it just scrolls up like a chat room. So once again, don't use that for really important questions directly to me. Like send it via the UTK email address, because I'll check this a little bit, but I'm not going to check it as often as my UTK email address. So make sure that you check that. Also get alerts for my UTK emails on my phone now. So I should be able to respond a lot faster to that. But if you just want to chat with some other people while you're waiting, or you just have a couple of quick questions or whatever, then you can ask them on here. But yeah, this is what we'll be using as the Discord. And once again, I like this because you can access it from your smartphone. You don't have to have a PC. And it's just really easy to have different controls as far as security goes. You don't have to dial up and use your phone or anything. You just have to have access. You don't have to have a microphone or anything like that. You can just speak directly into your phone, I believe. Although you can still have a PC with a mic if you want. But you should be able to speak directly into your phone and use this. So once again, I think this is the most accessible option. It's probably not going to crash. It's less likely to crash than something like Zoom is. So that's why I really like that technology. Obviously, free to use at all times. All you need is an email address to sign into. You don't even have to use a real email address. You can just make an anonymous email address on Google if you want to sign in. So when you come in here, though, do try to use your name. You can change your nickname if you want to on here. So if you click on that, you can go to your profile, change your nickname on the channel if you want to. So please use your name from the class, first and last name, so that I know who I'm talking to. Okay. So yeah, you can use it for free. You can use it on a desktop app like I'm doing right now. You can use it with an internet sign-in. You can just use a browser, or I think they even have a QR scan, one of those little funny looking codes that you can scan with your phone and log in that way. So you could scan it off your computer onto your phone and log in that way. Okay, and like I said, I'm going to hang out in the room for about an hour afterwards, and I'll probably just be grading some papers or doing something else, hanging out. And then that way, if you have any questions, you can ask me questions directly afterwards. Okay. Yeah, and just hang out quietly in the waiting room while you're using Discord, while you're waiting on me. Be sure to disable that mic, like I said, so that you're not breathing on other people, or you're not having a personal conversation that other people are hearing that you're not aware of. Or you're not watching something, on your browser that for whatever reason you don't want people to be aware of. Okay, so just make sure that you mute all of your stuff, and that'll make it a lot easier. And then we're going to hold conferences. We'll talk about that, but that's going to be on Discord, and it's going to be the same type of timeline as usual, Wednesday to Thursday, 15-minute conferences. You'll just sign up for a block. You'll come in. We'll talk about your final essay, then we'll go on from there. Okay, FERPA disclosure. So this is family. I don't remember exactly what all it stands for, but it's basically privacy disclosure. I'm not allowed to share personal information about you with anybody except for you, and I highly encourage you not to share personal information about yourself with anybody else either, or talk about any other person's private information. Okay, so this is becoming a little bit more public. YouTube is obviously a public forum. Discord is a public forum. And I'm only going to disclose personal information about you when we're corresponding via email through your official utk.edu email address and my email address. Okay, so I'm never going to ask you from some alternate account any information about yourself. Okay, So if anyone else, is like posing as my name or is pretending they're me and it's not from a UTK email address, if it's not the official email address, do not respond to that. Okay? So it's very, very unlikely that, especially on YouTube with a channel this small, that we would, encounter any sort of phishing or other malicious behavior where people are trying to get your personal information and steal your credit card or steal your identity or whatever. But in theory, it could happen. It can happen at UT too. But now that we're venturing out slightly more into the public with YouTube, it's a slightly higher risk, although it's still very, very low. Just always be safe out there, okay? Also, anyone on Discord, because you can sign in as a nickname in theory and make your nickname whatever you want, even if it's somebody else's name. Okay, so that's why, I'm saying please use your real name here and do not disclose personal information to other people. Even if it's someone that looks like it's your friend from the class, it has their name, don't tell them your grades, don't tell them your social security number. Usually they're not that obvious. Hey man, what's your social? That's not going to happen. But in general, just be very careful what you're talking about with anyone on here and anyone on YouTube. Okay, and in the spirit of that carefulness, I'm not going to talk about grades on Discord. I'm not going to talk about anything, specific to you on Discord, okay? Your absences, whatever else might be going on. We're just going to do that via the email address. So if you're talking with me on Discord, I can say, okay, cool, I'll email it to you right now and you can tell me what you think. Then I'll send it via email, and then if you start talking to me about it, then I can continue that conversation, okay? But I can't start that conversation without going through UT's official email channel. Okay. Sorry, it's taking a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I just want to be clear about all of these things. And just email me if you have any questions about it, and we'll handle it. Okay, so what's changing as far as the rest of the semester? So I went ahead, and this revised syllabus is going to be in the class notes, so you should have access to that. We're going to have to change a pretty significant amount of the last month, because if you were paying attention, early in the semester, we were supposed to have group projects at the end where everyone was going to get together in teams of 2 or 3, and present their research that they did for Project 4. We were going to do interviews with other people. We were going to do in-class interactive activities. All of these things are basically impossible online. We could still do group work, and I could force you to, get together with people, but it would just be bad. I just don't think it would be a good experience at all. I know a lot of people don't like group work to begin with, but there is some value in that. But one of the biggest things is going out, figuring out how to do these different tasks, like how to conduct solid interviews, how to design an interactive activity, all that stuff, and that just is not going to be very well done. So I figure we'll just go ahead and scratch that. This is why it's taken me a little bit to get this information out to you guys, because I've had to rework all this stuff, restructure the back half of the class, or the back third of the class here, and then run this through the director and kind of talk with him about some ideas that I have, and he's given the green light to all this. He thinks it's a good idea. So what are we doing now? Well, this will be the last daily writing homework, and I just went ahead and kept that because some people may have written that during spring break, and I still want to make sure they get credit for that, describing your rhetorical strategy. And what we're going to do is, so this will be about the same as before. We'll be talking about, a little bit more about MLA formatting, a little bit more about the strategy section, and finishing up your research for Project 4. And then we're going to transition to talking about professional rhetoric. And I've taught a class, or I've taught a unit like this in the past, and students seem to really, really like this. So basically, and I'll send out the assignment sheet on Thursday, but basically you're going to be picking an organization that you might want to apply to in the future, okay? And we'll spend a whole class, a whole lecture talking about this. I'll answer your questions. But you're going to pick an organization. It can be in the future, so it could be imagining where you want to go after you graduate. So it could be law school, med school, business school. It could be just for a job you might want to apply to. It could also be for something like a scholarship that you might want to apply to, and that could be happening this summer. That could be happening 1 or 2 years from now. Could be an internship. Anything where you're going to have to market yourself to an organization and convince them to accept you. And that's really what we're looking for here. And so we're going to be learning about, what are the best rhetorical strategies? Should you be using logic a lot? How are you establishing your ethos and reputation as an amateur in the field? How can you do that? thinking about the appropriateness of using emotion in certain places. Should you be telling, personal stories in a professional cover letter or in a professional scholarship letter? Sometimes you should, depending on the job or the scholarship. Sometimes you shouldn't, though. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about discourse communities in terms of professionalization. So how to understand your organization, do some research on them, learn about the projects they're pursuing, learn about how they fit into the ecosystem of whatever that topic is. So in other words, something like, how does your law school, what do they specialize in? How do they stack up compared to other law schools out there? What kinds of applicants are they actually looking for? How would you fit in? Like, which kinds of courses might you be interested in taking? Which kinds of professors might you be interested in working with? And you'll do that for any of these organizations. And then we'll also be teaching you how to actually write that cover letter. So how to market yourself, how to think about the things that you've accomplished in the past, and how to explain that to this organization in such a way that they're going to want to hire you. So it's basically going to be a very in-depth lesson on how to use rhetoric, how to use research, how to use knowledge of discourse communities and audience to help you get the job that you want, to help you get into the grad school that you want, to help you get that money that you want, right, from the scholarship or the grant or whatever. Okay? So that's what it's going to be for the last few weeks of class. So we're going to start off just talking about a little bit more of what that is. I have some examples for you out there, and I'm going to show you how to do this really well. And then understanding professional discourse communities, crafting a narrative of yourself, projecting yourself into the future. There's no class for spring recess, basically around Easter on the 9th. And then analyzing meta-level decisions, so thinking about why did you make the choices that you made in the writing. Then we're going to have the rough draft conferences via Discord, and that's going to be on that Wednesday and Thursday, just like we've been doing all semester. And then we're just going to do a review of those conferences, and then there's just going to be a course recap and practical application. So we'll just be going through, talking about everything that we've learned in class, and I'll just be going through other ways that you can potentially use some of these skills in your other courses and in your other personal and professional lives as you go forward. So that'll be useful. And then remember, there's no official final exam for the course as far as like you have to take a test or anything like that. But the final draft for the essay, I'm going to make it due Friday the 4th around midnight, because my final grades are going to be due on Tuesday, and I'm just going to crank through these as fast as I can. If you want to do any revisions for any of the other essays out there, then that's also going to be due by Friday. So you can turn it in earlier if you want, but I'm not allowed to, or I think that it's at least heavily frowned upon to assign a major assignment that's worth, I think, like 20% or more of your grade on the week before finals. They just want you to put that in the finals week. So that's what I did. So we don't have an official final in the sense of a test, but that final essay is due on the Friday of finals week. Although, once again, you're welcome to turn it in earlier than you want. And if you want any additional commentary, you want me to give you some written commentary about whatever, since we're not having the face-to-face conferences, I can do that for you. Although we will still be having the Discord conferences once again. Okay. As far as Project 4, I will be a little bit lax on the book requirements now. I know that most of you had some great books, and I think that's awesome, and that will help out with your sourcing. But since the library is closed down and not everything's going to be available as an ebook, I am going to lower the requirements on the official book and just say that you have to have one that's an official book. It's better if you have more books. They're usually much higher quality sources. So ideally you already have a bunch of books, but I know some people are still struggling with their topics, around the end of before spring break. I know there were a lot of midterms. Some people were thinking about switching topics. So I know it's tough out there, so I'll just say you have to have one book. Now, everything else does need to be... Sorry, I'm not sure what that noise is. I'm going to have to... I don't know. I'll look into that before the next time. There will be some kinks along the way here. But you need to have scholarly sources, though. So even if you're using online sources, it needs to be scholarly stuff. It can't be like Procon. It can't be Wikipedia. If you're going to do online stuff, it needs to be like JSTOR articles. Now, do see if there are ebook versions of your books that you might want to get, okay? Because UT has a lot of ebook versions of these books. But if you're still confused about your sourcing, if you have any questions or you need me to help you find some sources, just let me know via email and I can help you out with that. But hopefully most of you got most of your sources done, at least 3 of them done, by the annotated and by the rough draft conference last week. So anyways, so you don't have to have the 3 books anymore. It's just one, but everything needs to be a scholarly, respectable source. And if you already have multiple sources, if you have multiple book sources, that's great. You're probably in a really good position. Okay. But anyways, email me. Let me know if you have any other questions. I will post up the lecture or the lecture notes and do the live stream tomorrow around noon. On YouTube, so make sure that you're there, and then like I said, I'll send out an email about that as well to remind you of all of that. And then if you have any questions, ask me during the live stream, email me. Hopefully I'll have the Discord set up and worked out and finalized by tomorrow, so I'll be hanging out in the Discord if you want to chat sort of one-on-one or just test out the technology, make sure that you can use it. And that's another thing, if you're having a hard time getting any sort of this technology correct, then please let me know as soon as possible and we can figure out some kind of alternative. And that's another nice thing about YouTube. I assume everybody knows how to use YouTube already, so that should not be very difficult to navigate. And then Discord is very simple, but you may have some problems with like audio settings or something like that. So just ask me as soon as possible if you're having a hard time with your audio or getting your mic to register, and we can figure that out. But anyways, that's going to be it. Hopefully everyone out there is staying safe, staying healthy as much as possible. Please do practice the social distancing. I know it sucks, but just go out, watch some videos on it. It is actually very important. Some young people are still getting really sick out there, so it's not like young people are completely immune. But the main thing is you could be spreading it to other people around, and it can overwhelm the hospitals. That's the big thing, is if you have a huge flood of people going to the hospitals, we do not have nearly enough hospital beds in this country, especially in the ICU. And the problem is, if everybody goes in there, even if they're not mortally ill, if they just need a respirator or a ventilator or whatever, we might run out of those. Okay? And then if a bunch of people are in critical condition, that's going to lower the amount of beds for other critical condition stuff. So if everybody's in the ICU for COVID, and someone has a stroke or someone has a heart attack or whatever, there may not be a bed for them and they just might die. And that's like the brutal reality of the situation, okay? So please take it seriously. Please just chill for a few months until, a lot of the national doctors give the green light. I know it sucks. Maybe not, I guess spring break's already over, but, missing out on part of your college experience, not getting to meet up with your frat or your sorority or your friends or that, Aiden's house party or, whatever is going on out there. But it's just a reality of life. The faster everyone can do that, the faster we can get it more under control, and the less people are ultimately going to die, and we can all get back to business, right? Your parents can get back to work. You can maybe get back to work. Your grandma can survive. There's all kinds of good things. So please practice the social distancing as much as it sucks. It's really necessary so that everyone can get back on track, because if a large amount of people aren't doing it, then it's just not going to work, and it's going to kind of be a doomsday scenario for a lot of people. So please make sure that you're practicing that. Okay, but that's going to be it. So stay tuned. There's going to be a stream tomorrow around noon. I'll have the lecture notes posted. I'll send out an email about it. This adjusted, revised syllabus will be posted up. We're going to be going over some more with the research essay. I am going to I'm going to give you an extension until the Tuesday after this Thursday to turn in your final draft. So you will have an extension. I'm going to give you that extra time there. I know everyone's been struggling with a lot of crazy stuff, so I'm going to be pretty chill about that deadline. But make sure that you get that in. I will have the Project 3s graded. I've been, dealing with setting up this class and a bunch of my own stuff too. I've almost got those done, but I should have those posted up within the next couple of days as well with a grade update. But anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Once again, let me know if you have any questions, and otherwise, I'll see you next time. Have a great day.